How's it going, guys? DemonDriver here. We are back on the 777 Emirates 9X, 777 9X Emirates. I'm not going to say that again. We're back on it, and we're sanding today the tail section of our 13-foot monster and the nose section of our 13-foot monster Emirates, the great airline of the United Arab Emirates. And speaking of the United Arab Emirates, I got some great footage of Dubai, beautiful women in Dubai together. So just for you, I'm gonna work that into the openings of some of these videos for you guys. But we're gonna get to sanding these, and I'm gonna show you how I sand them smooth so that this surface, this is just solid styrofoam, white styrofoam, and I'm gonna show you how I turn this into as smooth as this 737 MAX Norwegian. Check this out. Alright, so let's get down to work. Let's get these sanded and let's get to work. Come on. Okay, my friends, the first thing you want to do is get your dust mask. Get a dust mask. Never sand without a dust mask. Any kind of fine material that creates dust, you want dust mask. All right, let's talk about the most important thing, and that is the sanding pads. Now, flexible sanding pads like this are very, very important as we sand the curved surface of the 777 9X's fuselage, nose section, tail section. We need to contour the fuse, so we use this. We use curved sanding pads. These are becoming harder and harder to find in hardware stores in the U.S. They're just becoming more scarce. I have to find these online and buy them online, but they're becoming more scarce. We got sanding blocks, varying sanding blocks. I love these. I think Norton makes these. It has kind of a honeycomb surface to it. This is about an 80 grit. This is actually 60 grit. This is the most coarse that I'll use in this application. Don't go below 60 when you're doing this. So I'd say 60, and then you build your way up. As you sand the surface, you go from 60, then you do it first with 60, then you do it again with 80, then you do it again with 100, and then you hit it with 120, and it looks, and then you get it to where it is nice and smooth, again, like the 737 nose section. That nose section it started out and is hollowed out styrofoam, just like this, okay? All right, then also what we need is a razor blade, because we're gonna go along and cut off some jaggies with the razor blade so that we don't have to worry about doing that. Doing that with the sander. Now this is Ace 80 coarse, brand new, a sanding block. All right, let's go ahead and let's open it up. This is a new version of this. Okay, this is a brand new version of this. It's an 80 grit, and you get two surfaces. You get a foam middle, and it can kind of contour, which is good. All right, let's put the mask on. Okay, so what I do is I take the razor and I just run the razor and I look down the fuse to find any little jaggies of spackle that's hardened. So I just kind of cut them off. Now some people suggest just using a wet rag. The problem with that is you're going to make the spackle wet again. You can't sand with a wet surface. It won't work. This isn't wet sanding. This isn't automotive paint wet sanding, so that won't work in this application. So let's go ahead and cut the little jaggies off. Got a couple smudges there, but this will be about a three-step process. This will be about a three-step process in order to get exactly what I want. So, the trick is not to cut too deep into the styrofoam to actually tear out a chunk of styrofoam. You don't want to do that. All right, here we go. Keep cutting. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting. Just slicing off excess. And this is light. This is a big section. This is big, but it's light. This stuff, this is, in my opinion, white styrofoam is the way to go. So I go ahead and do that. Now look at this mess. Here's the tail section of our Emirates, 13-foot long Emirates 9X, 777-9X. So I got my work cut out here. So I got to cut off all these jaggies. So check back with me in about 3 hours after I get this is going to be a lot of work. All right, we're done with the shaving, pretty much. You just look over it real quick. You can also just take your hand and try and knock off the jaggies with your hand. But the razor's the easiest way to do it. All right. Okay. Now, when we start doing this, what we want to do is we want to start at the lowest end of the sanding spectrum. We basically want to start and make sure that she's in frame. Okay. We want to make sure that we start at a low, at like maybe a 60. So we'll test. I'll take the 60, right? And I'll just run it on a diagonal in one direction. But diagonally, not straight down. See, what I don't want to do is I don't want to tear off pieces of styrofoam with the spackle. So I have to be very careful. So I first start out with this 60 grit. And I make a straight, but, you know, diagonal now up at the nose you got to be careful. It's easy to screw up at the nose. And trust me, even when I finish this first process of sanding, I'm going to find little divots and problems that I'll have to go back over until I get it perfect. So this is, you know, this is a tedious process, but you have to get it done in order to get that nice, smooth surface. See, right here, I got a nice pit right there. I got a ledge of spackle, so I got to break it down. So I also have a brush here, so I can go ahead and brush this off as I'm doing it. So I slowly turn it. It's really windy, so it's good. It's blowing the dust out of the way. Now here's the flight deck. Here's the flight deck window point right here. Here's the center right there. So I got to be very careful that I don't mess that up. Remember, curved but diagonal. Move with the curve of the fuselage. Okay, well after after using the 60 grade sanding block, 60 grit, we got this. So she's starting to look a lot smoother. And I turn it around and I check the shadow line, and I can see and check the curvature. And I can see lines or pits that need improvement. And so far, so good. Up in the air, on the nose, it's a little rough. So I might have to go back in with spackle after I finish the first sanding process. So right in here, and then what I'll do is I'll take take a brush and basically clean it off like that. Or if you don't have a brush, or you don't want to use a brush, you can use compressed air like that. You know, a dust blower for like computer keyboards. Definitely make sure you got your dust mask on when you start doing that. Okay, so now that I've taken this step, the next step is I will get a sanding pad, one of these sanding pads, and I want something kind of coarse like this. This is maybe an 80. This is about an 80 grit sanding pad. So what I'll do is I'll take the sanding pad and I'll start and what I'm doing is I'm contouring the nose section. I'm contouring it. I'm riding the curve. I turn it a little bit. Turn it a little bit. Got some streaks here. Okay. Well guys, there you have it. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. We went from that amount of roughness and spackle in about half an hour, and we got this smoothness. Now it's not perfect, and it's going to need a few more steps. I'm going to go over it once, twice more with spackle, but before you know it, this will be porcelain smooth. It'll be porcelain smooth. And then I'll laminate it, paint it, hollow it out. There'll be a flight deck in here. There'll be a galley, bathrooms, everything. So, half an hour of sanding, using sanding blocks and sanding pads, and you can make your styrofoam go from this to that. It's just a question of how much work you're ready to do and your determination to do the work. But you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it, trust me. Well guys, as always, DemonDriver here. God bless, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me tonight, and I'm grateful. And more stuff coming up, so check it out and take care.